Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got the blank, so I do have a bingo. I have adulate for 68. Yeah, I'm going with this. I'm placing vowels next to premium squares, but so many of them that they'll be as useful for me as for opponents. And I don't want to spend time trying to minimise that, although I probably would in a tournament. Now I've got an H, which is my only scoring tile. Rest of the rack pretty ropey, doesn't feel very bingo-y, and very little I want to preserve for next turn. So I could play hold and adulated. Adulate also takes an R in front. So adulate maximised score, but also maximises what it provides for opponent and for myself, the board belonging to both of us. So hold in column 10, not a massive score. I do want to get rid of the U and the L. Well, hold through the U of adulate keeps the U, so I don't want to do that. Is there a way I can get my H doubled? Don't think so. I could get it tripled, playing through the L of adulate. That's not bad. Phew, I thought opponent might be abandoning the game. So, wig for 26. I've got a new spot for hold underneath UG. The opponent hasn't provided any other new spots. Let me see what this scores. 21 points, not great. This doesn't provide anything too fabulous for opponent, and it's keeping the board wide open. Gosh, opponent's very highly rated. But I think the score for this, let me just check, this is 21. Gosh, this is more, so this is better and provides less. UG does take an S. I'm going with this. Gosh, pretty grim. I do now have 3 scoring tiles. And my E can go above the T, so I've got Pew in that spot. P can also go in front of UGH. Okay, only one floating vowel. That doesn't look particularly useful. So what I have is Pew here for 32, setting up a massive Z spot. Pew here for 33. 4 consonants, not great, but there is a floating vowel in lucent. Now, I do have an R for radulate. Radulate doesn't take a D or an S or anything. Can I do better than this? Wow, I have pewter through this E. What about bewept? 20 points, sacrificing 10 points, but reducing my consonants from 4 to 2. Setting up a hot X spot. Well, there's only one X. I really don't like keeping 4 consonants. You run the risk of just having one vowel or no vowels. That will happen a lot of the time. It won't happen with bewept. That's 20. This is 20. I think the right-hand positioning is slightly better. The opponent could have a 5-letter play ending in X. This is a big score sacrifice. What about playing wept here? 26 points. It's more points. Retaining the B, which is a scoring tile. It's taking out the hotness. A lot of the hotness around adulate, both the double letter square above the E and also the hooks for adulate. Yeah, I am going with this. And I have grumbles through the E of Lucent. Will that stay available? Wow. Otherwise, a pretty unpromising rack. Will opponent be tempted by this triple word square? They won't score very much. So they may not be. What am I going to do if my bingo's blocked? Just not seeing any other good candidate plays. Do I have anything? Well, I have bums and Uggs. And glums and Uggs. Yeah, which is going to be about 30 points, so definitely not a tragedy. But will my bingo? Yes, it will. Fantastic. And in fact, opponent provides a new spot for it in column 15, but row M scores more. Grumbles for 80. Fantastic. Not such a great draw, but these things happen. And I do have an I to go with the Q and a scoring tile in the P. So, oh, and there's a U from Grumbles, so I have Quip. Nice. No other U's available, although all U's have been played, but only the U of Grumbles available for a bingo. I lead by 110, but plenty of scoring spots on the board. Now, Capique is good, onto a K. Oh, an opponent takes out my U spot. That's galling. So, I thought with a wide open board, they may leave that alone. No such luck. I don't want to play QI, bottom left. There's still a ton of I's to come. And I don't have to play off the Q straight away. I have other problems with vowels. So, what can I do with the O's, A's, and P? This rack is surely too good to change. V prevents parallel plays because there are no two-letter V plays. Well, should I change with this rack? The only Q spot is here. 28 points. Keeping double A, double OP. Is this Rackley worth minus 28? Probably not. Minus 5, minus 10. So minus 15 maybe, or minus 12 for double O. Both A's damage that. P damages it. It's not going to be far off. I'm not seeing anywhere else for the Q. 14 minutes on my clock. I don't have anything through the V apart from Avo. Nothing which gets doubled, beginning with the C. I've got QA. So I've got cat, but then that score is terrible. I am changing. And I'm getting rid of everything. Wow, look at this. Fantastic. I have drawn the second blank. Do I have a bingo? Bartizan through an I or an N. None of those available. Oh, an opponent bingos. Versines doesn't take any hooks, 62 points. So I lead by just 20. Now, rather than spending a long time looking for a bingo, what about just doing this? Getting 44 points, keeping a bingo-y Rackley, preserving the blank and setting up a new lane, not providing anything else or nothing useful for opponent. The only thing better would be if there was, well, this is 44 points. There would have to be a 90-point bingo. But could there be a 90-point bingo? Partisan's the only one I've seen. Yeah, I'm going with this. Tsar 4. No, I'm not going with this. Surely this is better. Bazaar for 53 points. So with that in mind, is there something even better? I don't think so. Ooh, not so great. And I gave up my R, which could go in front of adulate. There could be a bingo here, but it's going to be difficult to see. So I've got the Ishan ending with O blank. So I have coition. Nowhere for that. Floating L, A and T. 30 points for opponent. Floating A and ET. Floating T at the bottom. There could be a bingo here. Am I sure coition doesn't play? If only I'd played Tsar. I only got 9 more points. So biotoxin through an X. That's coition. Isotonic through an S. And coitions. 12 minutes on my clock. ING ending. Not seeing anything there. Gosh, these look close. So point with IO. Wow, am I missing a bingo here? I know I don't have scoring tiles. Biotoxin from a B. Zoonotic onto a C. No. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I guess just playing off IO would leave a decent rack leave. Where can I do that? Well, I can do it here. 12 points. Is there a way of playing off more tiles and getting a bigger score? Well, I could play Conto. 24 points. I think that's worth doing, even though I'm keeping duplicate I with 4 to come. Yeah, it doesn't provide anything for opponent. I'm going with this. Great. Well, I only draw 1 more I. I've got Ixia on my rack. Wow. Despite having the blank, this rack has gone from being very bingo-y to being very un-bingo-y. Still 3 I's to come, otherwise, and no U's, otherwise I might be tempted to play XI bottom left, given that I've got I's on my rack. I still might, but keeping 4 vowels can't be good. So Ixia is the play which sorts the rack out. I don't think that plays anywhere. So what else turns over vowels and plays the X? I don't want to hang on to the X because it doesn't really go well with the blank. I'm really looking to bingo here. Not with this rack, but soon, given that I have the blank. My lead is only 70 points. Wow, I'm just surprised there aren't more options. Well, there's Ixia onto the A, but opponent could then easily double. 38 points for opponent. My lead now just 30 points, and my XI spotter's gone. What I could do is this for 53 points and just sucking up whatever the draw is, and I'm minded to. I'm not going to score anything like this anywhere else. So I dodge the I's, I draw a consonant. Wow, opponent I think has blocked initiate with the O of forego. Yeah, I would have had that. Doesn't play anywhere else. But I've re-established my lead. 22 tiles in the bag. If only I could get rid of 2 I's, I would have a great rack leave. Let me count the remaining vowels. 11 out of 29, so slightly vowel dry. I'm thinking about chucking back 2 I's. But, of course, if I do that, I score nothing. Now, this is what opponent's doing. Opponent isn't changing, they're just scoring. They have opened a new lane, which is good. I am minded to change here. And I'm going to get rid of just 2 I's. Wow, what a beautiful sight. Surely I am bingoing. So, I must have a bingo ending IER. Is Dotia good or is that a phony? I think it's a phony. So I'm looking for a bingo ending in R or any 7-letter bingo because there's row F. Erotica, that plays in row F. That's E to Aereo. Now opponent's played, fantastic. So I've got a guaranteed bingo in row F. Let me just take stock. If I play in column 2, I'm providing access to column 1. But the play will be doubled and I'll get the 6 points from adulate. A play in row F does not get doubled. Ochre doesn't take anything in front. And the play in column 2 provides a ton of floaters, whereas row F provides nothing. 8 minutes on my clock. So let me see what Erotica looks like. 64 points. Yeah, providing very little. There's still J and Q to come. They're not going to score well off this necessarily. C is a nice tile to have in a bingo because no tile goes in front of it. I am going with this. And, well, I draw J, Q and 2I, so all of the tiles that remain are bingo-y. I think if I played in column 2, very good chance opponent would have bingoed. Now I think they're less likely to. But opponent is a very strong player and may open the board. My lead just 104 points. But I have Joey in row E, which will score well and nothing goes in front of YO, so that's a good blocky play. I don't think I can do anything about the Q, still 4 I's to come. And there's the I of Erotica for the Q. And 2 A's, and there's the T of Lucent for cat. Oh, an opponent plays in my Joey spot. But burns 5 tiles, which is good. Only 4 tiles left. Interesting. An opponent, wow, has not played any I's, so they probably didn't have any or only had 1. Good chance they're sitting there with 3 or possibly 4 I's right now. And opponent has blocked column 2 for bingos ending in R. So I don't want to empty the bag, so I don't want to play Joey and Jet. I could play Joy and Jet. That's creating a new lane. So opponent could have Tarnish, but they have Tarnish already because of Tet. 7 minutes on my clock. What would be nice would be Joy over the top of Anode, but YOR not good. Opponent's taken out my QI spots. My lead only 81 points. Wow. What about just doing Joe? 33 points. That's not bad. A row C bingo is going to be face value. This is a very difficult rack leaf to keep to handle though. Opponent could get a lot on count back. But I do like the points for Joe. What about Joy? 26 points. Now, opponent could have Ijtihads. I don't want that. 6 minutes on my clock. Oh, I was going to say I had Joy beginning here, but Odo not good. Well, I may massively regret this, and I've got time not to do it. But 33 points, 420. I think I can outrun a bingo from opponent. Wow. Tricky. Still 5 minutes on my clock. So is Joe the play? I'd certainly like the points. Jaw is good, but I can't get the J to play twice. I am going with this. Wow, fantastic. I draw vowels, so I can jettison the Q with cats. But also that second vowel just is going to give me a lot more options. And opponent may well have all 4 eyes. Yeah, nitrids for 71. Opponent's got 2 eyes. Will struggle to go out in 1. So Iwi, there's 1W, there's the other. I still lead by 40 points, but opponent's going to get a lot on count back if they can go out. 4 minutes on my clock. So I think I should concentrate on not so much on getting rid of the Q, but getting rid of CH and Y, if that's possible. 3 minutes to find a way of doing that. And it may not be possible. This is the danger of playing Joe and keeping a really clunky rack. Wow, if opponent can go out, they may well win. But I've got so little time, I think I need to be looking for spots to play myself rather than looking for opponent's spot. Wow, this is tough. So I've got HAE, 24 points. That looks like a nightmare. 2 minutes on my clock. Good grief. I'm just not seeing anything. Heady for 16. One minute on my clock. What about Techie? 17. I think I might do this. There are 2 eyes for the queue. Yeah, and this is getting rid of 3 of my big tiles. 1 minute on my clock. I'm going with this. Is it going to be enough? Does opponent have an out with their eyes? If there is an out, I think opponent will find it. And they will get 30 points on countback. So 30 onto 381, 411. Well, they need to go out and score 30. I don't think that's going to happen. So supposing opponent doesn't go out, yeah, I can definitely jettison my queue above the eyes of nitrids. Opponent was quite lucky to have nitrids in the sense that the 2 tiles in the bag were both eyes. If opponent had got 3 eyes on their rack, they would have struggled to bingo. Of course, that's not a criticism of opponent, it's just an observation of the bag. 12 minutes on opponent's clock. So is QI my only option? Well, no, I have cat onto the T. And caddy if opponent places an I under the D. Be very interesting to see if Techie is the best. That was a super tricky rack to deal with. So opponent plays if at E14. Okay. Is opponent definitely going out? Yes. What can I score with my Y? Nothing fantastic. Yeah, interesting, wherever I play my Q, opponent can stick their I next to it. Unless there's a Q spot I haven't yet considered. 40 seconds left. So QI scores 11. I need to score about 15 with YA to justify doing that in preference. 20 seconds left. Not seeing any big spots. And now opponent probably she and it. However. And the final score, 411 for opponent, 452 for me, a winning margin of 41 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. Always exciting to play the top-rated players. You know you're in for a challenge. Now, it was me to go first. I played Adulate quickly, actuated, yeah, a better play. Nothing scores more, but I knew that because I got the D doubled. So there were other options. Opponent plays Wig. And now I play Hold, I think, yeah, 24. And although a few more points are available, these rack leaves are all pretty dismal. Either retaining U or duplicate L. Opponent plays Lucent. And I thought about Pew, didn't like the 4 consonants. Went with Wept. keeping BGR, and I like that. Opponent plays Eve, and this was a fantastic stroke of good fortune because this is not a great rack at all. However, I have Grumbles for 80. Opponent plays Eam, and QI and GI, I considered that, and rack leave is awful. Anopia N7. Well, sticking an A above this double letter square, that's close to being better than changing. Q is only worth -9, O -1 or 2. But I don't think changing is bad at all. Fantastic bingo by opponent, Versines. Phew, no missed bingo here. N10. Oh, Zabras and, well, just Zabras. Getting the Z tripled, 74 points. Well done if you spotted that. 20 points more than Bazaar using the same tiles, and I knew that Bazaar came from a 3 anagram set. I just didn't consider row N, so well done if you saw that. Opponent plays Pies. Missed bingo in Ossitol, A6 onto the L of Adulate. Wow. Tricky one to see, but it was there. So I play Conto for 24, retaining the blank, and the blank is worth 25 to 30. And the eye helps it, the second eye damages it. And so it's not terribly far off Inositol, and Inositol is super volatile, providing access to row A triple word squares. So certainly not a particularly damaging missed bingo. Opponent plays Forgo. And yeah, Axe, that was my play. Nothing better. Opponent plays Link, and this is my second change of the game. And 16 points, keeping 3 eyes. I think changing has got to be a reasonable play. Opponent plays Ov, and at this stage, opponent is just 40 points behind. However, I have this amazing rack. Gautier was the IER play, playable in column 2 for 74. But I didn't like providing all those bingo-y floaters, so I was willing to sacrifice 10 points to play Erotica. And opponent has no bingo. Possibly they would have had one through Gautier, although nothing springs to mind. Opponent does have Adenoid on their rack, it just doesn't play. So opponent plays Anode. And yeah, this is where I play Joe for 33. I really didn't like the rack leave. I didn't want to empty the bag, which Joey does. Joy. G1. Well, Ijtihads wouldn't be playable. But I don't feel that that's a great play. I don't like gifting opponent the opportunity to score a lot of points. So I play Joe. This is opponent's rack, just the one bingo, which they find. Now, HAYG1. Yeah, 26 points. What do? I play Techie for 17. But I am getting rid of one more big tile, so that's not far off this play. No out for opponent. They play If. G2, AY for 22. Yeah, that might have been worth doing. And now opponent plays Chi for 15, and that's the end of the game. So what a fantastic game. Both of us over 400 points, super close all the way to the end, and lots of challenging decisions to make, including changing twice. So many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.